So continue on the same line then. Yeah. Is there any other key learnings or lessons you think, I've learned a lot from what happened in XYZ?
Yeah, let's see. People are the most important thing. It's not
so
the science.
True. It sounds cliche, but it's so true.
It sounds
people first,
silly maybe, but it's not the science. It's not even the money. Of course, you need both the science and the money, but the team, building the right team. You do this for a living, finding exactly the right person that can do the job and that fits into the culture and that is excited about the work. It's huge. It's what drives the whole thing.
It's amazing how much the cultural fit of an individual based on where you need to get the business to is important, isn't it? CVs are one thing, or resumes. Yeah. I'm in America, I should know that. Resumes are one thing, but the cultural fit, their personality type, and how they fit into the dynamic is integral.
How do you look into cultural fits?
So when we qualify the team build, the position, the job, we will really go into detail about what, with the hiring managers and the team, what their thoughts are and what the right person is. Yeah. So we'll dig into how do we separate the good from the very good people, and typically that's a soft skill related thing. Quite often it'll be things like we need someone hands-on, we need someone that can wear a lot of hats, we need someone that is okay with risk, we need someone that doesn't need to worry about everything being specific to his job or their job description. And usually you'll when you qualify candidates, you'll get signs. So they'll say things like they'll obsess about the job title is an easy indicator. Yeah. That's an easy indicator. So if they're doing that, then they use, that tends to be an indicator that they might not be the right type of person for a biotech, where the chief medical officer is fixing their own computer. Yeah. And the head of clinical operations is doing quality assurance on the side. Right. These are the sort of things I see all the time. The CEO is fixing the photocopier, which is also part of the fun. But yeah. So that's a big thing. Yeah. Other tells, I'd say are candidates that have always worked in the big pharma, and they say that they want to join a biotech. But when you drill into what that means, they go very quiet. And then you have to then pull out of them how they really feel about that. And my job in that process is not to convince or sell or anything like that. If anything, it's the opposite. And that's where people go wrong. I don't think this is right for you because. Yeah. And then if they challenge that and they come back to that, then there's a fight in there. They might want to do it. Yeah. And then there's something we're talking about. If they agree, obviously everyone save time, because our job is to do a good job for everyone, not just the client, not just the candidate.
Of course. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So it's pulling it away almost.
It should be an easy fit from the beginning. If you force it.
Well, if you really want something, and I pull that away, if you really want a new opportunity, or it doesn't have to be a job, it can be anything. Yeah. You go for it, don't you? Yeah, it makes you want it more.
Try harder.
Yeah. So then you've got to prove yourself. You've got to access a different part of your brain to have a different explanation and that kind of thing. Yeah. And that's what we're trying to tap into. But equally, it can be a case of a candidate saying, "You're right. Yeah. So I don't want this job, and here's the reasons why." And then you move on. And then you talk to them, you stay in touch, and it's a good relationship. And I appreciate that you haven't wasted their time. Yeah. So it's fascinating, really.
That is fascinating.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time in the interview process to make sure that we find some, which is, it's painful for everyone, like to spend a lot of time. Nobody wants to spend a lot of time, but it's if we hire the wrong person, it takes so much more energy and effort to fix that mistake than to just do a very long interview process, and not necessarily long in time, but like in depth and wait for the right candidate to actually show up.
I've always felt like with an early stage company, or a company in its infancy, so it hasn't gone on a massive scale up journey yet, the way that the biotech, tech bio, med tech, whatever we call it, the way that their story and their value proposition and their unique selling point, whether it be the way that it benefits the patients or caregivers, or the unique proposition of the molecule that you're working with, or mechanism of action, et cetera, what's different about it, understanding that story, and someone in my position being able to translate that back to the best people is imperative, because the best candidates, particularly if they're brilliant scientifically or medically, they want to understand that, and they lose patients quickly if you can't articulate it properly or answer their questions. So, yeah, that's something what we're passionate about anyway.
So you're learning a little PhD every time that you run.
I like the way you said that. Yeah, I think there's a very small dynamic there. I mean, we our job is to simplify almost. I suppose,
which is the hardest way of doing it. Actually.
Yeah, we're never going to understand the complex depth that you guys go to, but scientifically, but we can translate that into meaningful dynamics from a people perspective.
Yeah,
which is interesting.
That's huge.